Hi, Jerry Sable here. I wanted to illustrate the embedding or embedding of photos into documents. And I'm going to illustrate a point that has been kind of interesting to me. First of all, I'm going to take a blank document and embed some photos in it. I've already done this actually, so I'm going to start over again. Create a new file, a new document. And I'm going to take some photos that I will call large, and I've got them in a little folder. And to give you an idea of what they're like, let me show you the documents. They're a desktop, and they're embed these documents here. Notice that they're named the same, but they have different sizes. The first one is a photo of 29.5 megabytes. And then I've reduced the same photo to 1.3 megabytes. So a significant reduction in size. So I'm going to take these large files and just drag them into the document and then resize them. So there's the first one. And then the second one. And again, I'm going to take these documents and shrink so they fit into one page, basically. And the third picture. So right now I've got 50 megabytes of photos that I'm dragging into here. And this is the third one. And the fourth one. And that's another 30. So there's about 80 megabytes of data that I just drug into a document and squeezed everything into one page. Let's see. Let's shrink this one. Okay, they're all on one page. And I'm going to save the file. And I'm going to call it large photos. And I'm going to save it into the same folder. Okay. Now I'm going to create a new document. And I'm going to drag the same photos, they're small versions. So the first one is 1.3 instead of 29. That's smaller there, but then I can drag it out. That's so you can see it. And the next one is 855. Kilobytes, not megabytes. And I drag it out. And the third one. Again, it looks very small when it's here. But if I stretch it out, okay. And the fourth one, and by the way, these last two were 300 some kilobytes. Okay, then I'm going to save this. And I'm going to call it small photos. Okay, I'm not going to let anybody know anything now. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm going to use, instead of Word, I'm going to use a program of PDFs. So I'm going to create a new PDF and just a blank PDF. Then I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to drag the large file in. And I'm going to squeeze it down. That was the 29 megabytes. This one is 22 megabytes. And this one is 18 megabytes. And the next one is 13 megabytes. And I'm going to save it. And I'm going to call that large photos. Again, same place in the embed folder. And I'll call it large photos. Okay, and do the same thing. I'm going to create a new file. Blank document. And I'm going to drag the small one into there. So this one's 1.3. Notice when I drag it in there, it is small, but I can all stretch it out. It's a little more difficult to keep the size of the shape, the proportions. The next one was the 855 megabytes. Grab the corners and drag it out. And then the next one, 322 gigabytes. And the last one, 327. And again, I'll save this. And I'll call it small photos. Okay, so now the final results. And this, I think, is what interests me, because I'm a newsletter editor and I get a lot of documents from people, PDF files. Let's see what happens. Now notice the large photos, the Word document, 1 megabyte, and the small photos, 1.3, and that's probably because I drug them differently. But look at the difference in the PDF documents. The large photos, the size of the file is 83.1 megabytes, which is certainly too large to email anyone. Small photos, the same thing, is 2.8 megabytes. So if you're going to send somebody a document, it's a good idea, if it has photos in it, to shrink the size of the photos first. Let me go ahead and do a quick look at these and see if you can see much difference. That's the large photos, the 89 megabyte, and this is the small photos. I could probably stretch them out a little bit, but basically the same photos are embedded. I might need to resize this, and I could, easy enough to get the correct proportions. But anyway, that's enough for that. And I thought that was interesting. To me, it was very interesting. Again, a PDF, if you embed photos in a PDF, the size is retained. And I get some photos from individuals that are, some files, single documents, single page document PDFs that are enormous in size. So please reduce the file size first and then embed the photo. Okay, thanks enough. Thank you.